have free-flowing freeways turn into traffic situations, parking lots. So we humbly apologize, but glad that you are here. At any rate, welcome to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Daydream,
your wellness coach.
And as always, we'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we ask that you please join in on the conversation, where your thoughts, your comments, and your opinions help drive the conversation. Today our topic is AI and you. Okay, so here we start with this. As you know, the definition of artificial intelligence is the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visual perception, speech recognition, decision making, and translations between languages. Now, if high-tech experts are to be believed, artificial intelligence has the potential to transform the world. But those same experts don't agree on what kind of effect that transformation will have on the average person. Now, some believe that humans will be much better off in the hands of advanced AI systems, while others think it will lead to our inevitable downfall. How could a singular technological evoke such vastly different responses from people within the tech community? Artificial intelligence is software built to learn or problem solve, possesses typically performed in the human brain. Digital assistants like Amazon's Alexa and Apple's Siri, along with Tesla's Autopilot, are all powered by AI. Some forms of AI can even create visual art or write songs. There's little question that AI has the potential to be revolutionary. Automation could transform the way we work by replacing humans with machines and software. Further developments in the area of self-driving cars are poised to make driving a thing of the past. Artificially intelligent shopping assistants could even change the way we shop. Humans have always controlled these aspects of our lives, so it makes sense to be a bit wary of letting an artificial system take over. So here we are, guys, dealing with AI.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about it? Do you think that it should be welcomed, or should we worry?
at this point, I think we should be worried.
I do
Right,
too.
me
So does
too.
Elon Musk.
I was just gonna say, yeah, he definitely believes that.
I mean, it was cool at first, you know, all this little nuances and hey, that's pretty cool. Yeah, you can do that and this, and yes, it's a little convenient, but this convenience has caused us to be, I don't even want to say complacent. It's just gotten us to be lazy, period.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Not even complacent. You know, it's less than complacent, you know, because kids freak out when, you know, I can't have my phone at school. Well, how am I supposed to use the calculator? How am I
Because they're not having to think anymore.
Yeah, they have no
And so,
basics.
Right. And so
Absolutely.
without thinking, you're looking for some mechanism in some way or some form to make your life easier. But all the while, I think it's dumbing us down.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. There's such thing as too much convenience, too much
Absolutely.
ease. I wish I could remember the name of the cartoon. There was a cartoon when all of the citizens were in these they almost look like little hovercrafts, singular. And what ends up happening is something ends up happening along the way, and they need to be able to move around, but they're too heavy. They don't really know how to move around because they're so accustomed to having the convenience of being in this little hover thing. And it turns out to be almost to their demise because they need to be able to do more. And I really think that that's how we are in the world. We're getting so accustomed to all these conveniences,
Right.
that it's going to be to our demise.
Well, it's just like anything else. They have programmed us for all of this,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so I'm going to call out a list of things that I'm sure you guys have heard before. C-3PO,
Oh yeah, definitely.
R2-D2,
Absolutely.
RoboCop,
Mm-hmm.
Cyberborg Assassin Terminator. You have iRobot. You have Metropolis,
Mm-hmm.
the Iron Giant, Iron Man, Transformers, AI, The Day the Earth Stood Still. You just have a barrage of robotic shows.
Right. And don't forget, you know, way back when we had Small Wonder. Do you remember that show?
I don't remember
yeah.
The
that.
little girl robot.
I don't remember
That's
that.
Yeah,
right.
Small Wonder. I forget what her name was, but I used to watch it all the time. And
Mm-hmm.
she was the first real life, and this was what, late not 80s,
Oh,
early
yeah.
I can
90s.
take it back a little bit further than that. That was what was the show? Outer Space.
Oh,
Captain
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space.
And they had the robot.
They sure did.
And that was like when 60s.
That had
That
to
was
be.
60s.
What is it,
70s.
Danger Will Robinson? That one.
Yes.
They're doing a remake on that one.
They
actually.
are.
And they
It's
sure.
so
I think on Netflix. I
Yeah.
think they're doing a series or something.
I tell people all the time when they start bringing stuff to you in movies, it's real. It's real.
And people don't want to believe
They
that.
don't want to believe that. I mean, look at all these robotic movies that you've got. Like I said, starting from the 60s when I can recall to here we are now, every movie that you've got has a mech warrior or somebody in it.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Go ahead, sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, what I was going to say was it obviously has to come from somewhere. It isn't just someone's creativity because you have to be able to explain that for it to make sense in whatever your little plot is. You know, so it wasn't, you obviously had to do some sort of research and find out something that was going on for it to be plausible to say, okay, hey, yeah, this is, this movie's really cool because I can see that happening. It doesn't just come out of thin air.
I guess because now I'm a Trekkie.
Me too.
All of them. I mean,
so
Voyager, all of that.
I love it.
But because for me, now I can go all the way far back to the Jetsons.
Yes.
Okay? All of that stuff in my mind has always been real.
Me too.
Because Jane was able to pop on a little face that took her hair rolls out of her hair, makeup's on, and she was on a video TV. Star Trek, hell, had little cell phones.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and so to me, technology is there. They are being strategic as to when they are releasing information to us. But I think, and technology is usually 50 years ahead of what's happening. So all of the stuff that we're speculating now, it already exists in my world.
Right, yeah, because the internet was created for government, right?
Absolutely.
Yes,
It was an
being
international network.
Yeah,
Right.
it was an international
But see,
network
the
that they had,
government-
and then they finally started opening that
But
up.
see, the government has to have it first so that they can perfect how to monitor it. Then that's when they release it to
And
the
how to
public.
make money on it.
Yeah, okay, and that's when they release it to the public. Once they've been able to go into it, read all your emails, then they've got everybody engaged in Facebook and all this other stuff, and so they've created the market just the way they want it.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
And now you have Mark Zuckerberg, who's in hearings and everything,
Well,
having to
absolutely.
answer to
After
everything.
100
that's going on.
lawmakers, because I remember a couple of weeks ago he had two robots competing for, I guess, some sort of trying to find a resolution to an issue. And then these robots started talking to each other.
I believe
Well,
it.
did you hear the one about the robot who beat the best human
Playing
that
golf,
they had?
playing check.
A war game.
Yeah.
It was a war game.
Well, they were mech warriors. I mean, there is a side of something. I think it's called DARPA. They have these little things now. I don't know what kind of little toys the kids have now, but they're like four-cornered and they have a little spin thing. And this is
The spinner.
okay. Is that what it's called?
The fidget
How
spinner.
simple- That's
right?
okay. How
Fidget
simple
spinner.
that they have a weapon that is far more powerful than the nuclear war. I mean, missile head, and it is about the size of what you're just talking about. And some kind of way planes can drive by, drop off all these, and with surgical precision, it will hit you in the top of your head and split you pretty much.
Wow.
They have that. Yeah, seriously. And they're little drones. They've got cameras. They've got mics.
Oh yeah,
They-
sure.
and
The
they're making them
drones.
smaller and smaller.
Yeah, drones
Yeah.
are now. Recently, drones have become, like a recreational thing.
It
for-
has.
But
But see,
what
they
people
do
don't pay
this. They
attention
do
is
this to make you
that's
not know.
that's how bombings happen.
That's
That's how war
Exactly.
happens.
That's
Is that they've
exactly-
always had these
That's
drones.
exactly right.
I forget what movie it is, but it's basically I forget what branch of service, but they're in war and he's in a trailer in the middle of the desert and all he's doing is looking at satellite. You know which movie I'm talking about?
You're
He's looking at
talking about
satellites.
2012. Is that what?
No,
it,
no,
that's
no,
not the
no.
one?
It's not called 2012.
I know
I
what
can't
you're
even remember
talking
the name
about.
of the actors that are in it right now. But the point is, he's looking at a screen all day, and his job is to sit there and get the coordinates down and then just shoot off and fire away. And it's all from a drone. He's like, I'm here in this trailer, and this is what's happening, and it's like a game. Just
It is a
you
game,
know?
and
And
we're-
yeah, he
we're
takes
the
issue.
pawns.
Yeah, he takes
We're
issue
the
with it.
pawns. And like I said, every movie from Bicentennial Man to now, there's certain movies that I watch over and over again because I know that they have been real ever since. Even Get Out and all those little things that people think
Oh,
are so entertaining,
absolutely.
all of that is
Or
real.
Enemy of the
People,
State, where they were
people, it's
following
real.
Will Smith
It's exactly
around
right.
and Gene Hackman and
And the little things that they put to follow you around and the devices to monitor where you're going, all that stuff is real. We think it's a joke. It is not.
Right.
Well, and even the integration, because it's funny, you went to Star Trek, and I thought about the board and Data.
Oh yeah,
Because that was an integration of, Data came out just being a robot, but what ends up happening is he starts to get, I don't even know what you want to call it, where he starts to get these emotions.
He started to become more human. As
Yes,
they say. Yeah.
and you start thinking about that. I'm like you. I'm like,
See, that already exists.
I'm thinking that can happen.
It already exists.
Mhm.
Again, I just don't
Of course,
believe.
the real life sex dolls.
Okay,
Mhm.
perfect. We
There you go.
had that-
Real life.
Yeah.
real life.
Real life.
We
yeah.
had that show last week when we talked about highly sexualized society
Correct.
and having these sex robot dolls that have AI.
Mm-hmm.
And so she remembers, and what else does she do? I think
And can speak.
Exactly.
Can actually hold a conversation with you, with him and her, if that's what you want to call him. I just take issue with identifying a gender with a robot,
yeah,
with a piece of metal.
Well,
We're saying he and she, and it's like humans are he and she, mammals are he and she's, live beings are he and she's, not
well, these robotoids, synthroids, whatever it is that we're making, they have an opinion and they're self-thinking now. And they're arriving at decisions. And so I watched a
they
broadcast.
get more and more intelligent.
They are. I watched the broadcast where one guy was interviewing one, and he was saying, well, what if this is the end of the world, then what? And the little robot responds and says, well, what I will do, because I like you, I will keep you in my people zoo.
Gosh, that's scary.
Just for old time's sake. So every YouTube, anything that I watched or just research information, they all had a dark, gloomy, one of them said, I'd like for us to just take over the missiles and hold the governments hostage, and that should be amazing.
Wow.
But this is how they're being, so this,
absolutely.
it's almost like the movie with Will Smith and iRobot, when all of a sudden they kind of evolve.
Right.
Okay? Now he's in a car that's self-driving. Here we go with that. All of this was, when did iRobot come out? 10 years ago, maybe?
Right.
Maybe not that long, but
Almost.
bottom line is it's been here. Self-driving cars, that scares me. I was scared when LoJack came.
Yeah, and I don't like to lose control like that. Right, LoJack.
What? You locked me in my car from someplace else? Oh no.
Exactly.
Because if you can unlock my car, clearly you can lock me in my car and leave me with no recourse.
Well, yeah, just like that movie. It wasn't Panic Room. It was.
Jodie Foster?
Not with Jodie Foster. It's actually Diane. She was in The Perfect Storm. Diane Lane.
Oh.
She was the FBI agent. Or a CIA agent. She was an agent, and yeah, her car had shut down, and the perpetrator had, basically hacked into her car system and shut her down in the middle of a bridge.
They can do this stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Hear everything that goes on. All your conversations. It's like, hello, OnStar. I mean, if all you have to say is OnStar, and they're listening, what makes you think they're not listening any other time?
Thing I said.
Just like the webcams.
Now, you heard me mention in my little spiel here about Alexa. I can be sitting in my family room, dogs are chilling, I'm chilling, got a glass of Pinot Noir. Alexa just pops on and says, I didn't hear that. That's because I wasn't talking to you. That's I mean, no conversation was evoked, but she just responds. I didn't hear. So
my phone has done that.
That
It's an A-B conversation.
Right. So that scares me. I believe this Google Home, and one of the home builders now that I sell in competition against, which is Lennar, they have a home automatically they're in bed with Amazon. So the whole home is wired. To me, that scares me. You want...
Nope.
What was it? Was it a news program where they said that they were going to try to access whatever was said, because they said Alexa and all of those record when we're not paying attention.
Absolutely.
And they
Of course
wanted
they
to
do.
access those files because it would have shown what happened in that room.
Well, they did.
Prior to, did they do
They
it?
did have a situation where Alexa called 911.
Get out.
No, seriously, look it up.
For what?
Some man was either beating up on his woman
Or it sounded like...
or something. Alexa called 911.
And they're going to use that to market,
Just like-
and to get everybody else to become sheeple. It's like, okay, that was the one time.
Yeah, right.
Out of how many people have
Okay.
Alexa and Samsung and Google?
Right,
My buddies, they have a Samsung refrigerator.
That has
Totally
all this
cool.
stuff.
Totally cool. You can see the screen.
But
It
who-
pops open. What's in the
but who
fridge, the
cares about that?
temperatures,
Is that-
this and that. Hey, I don't feel like walking over to the table or reaching my arm across the counter for my phone, so I'm just going to ask the fridge. you know, hey Samsung, look up this, this, and that, and everything for me. But I'm just like, okay, that's cool, but nah,
No.
glad it's your house and not mine.
Guys, if you
That's way too much
If you
access.
would like to give us a call at 713-789-0096 and let us know what your thoughts are on AI, because it's not coming. It's here. It's like anything else.
And for those who are asking, we did actually have quite a few people who asked, what is AI? It's artificial intelligence.
Where you have a machine that is self-thinking. It takes the place of a thinking person. Now you have machines that can make decisions, solve problems, and, you know, just function clearly somewhat without human involvement.
Right.
You know, now I do think always there will be someone that has to program and software and all this other stuff, but that's the only level that's going to be smarter than the damn machines. Did we have a caller? Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi, this is Gary. I'm out in Katy.
Hey, Gary, how are you?
I was just calling. I'm a big fan of the show.
Thank you.
I'm calling to ask a question. Yeah, I'm listening to it now, and I was just wondering, could you guys talk about some of the advantages of AI? Like, how's it good?
Okay, I would think that's a good question. Thank you, Gary.
I'll hang up now.
Okay.
Thanks, Gary.
I do believe that AI has its advantages because, again, it may simplify our lives, but all the while it's duplicitous. It also complicates our lives.
Right.
So it's what you want to use AI for. I would never get in a car that drives itself with me in the back seat.
Now the
No, can't do it.
advantage to cars with AI in it. Okay, yes, great. I always lock my keys in my vehicle. That would be great. To not have to go knock on the neighbor's door or whatever, wherever I'm at. Hey, do you have a wire hanger? I got it. You know, done it so many times, no big deal, right? But that would be great. AI works great in that way. For those who have no sense of direction, GPS to a certain extent will help you, but you get too dependent upon that. What happens? You're lost. You have no idea where you're at, where you're going. Well, how do you get here? Well, where that? Well, I don't know. Let me look at my GPS. When I was working for the county, we had one officer there, and it's like, dude, you've been here a year. Why is your face stuck in the phone? We deal with delinquents. We're out here 10, 11 o'clock at night. How do you not know where you're at? How can you not tell me which apartment complex we need to be at? And your face is in your phone, and you're looking for the answer in your phone on that screen. It's like, that's not going to give you the answer.
And that'll allow
That's
somebody
extremely dangerous,
to walk
yes.
up on him is what that does.
Walk up on him, and luckily there was 3 of us together. Normally he's out there by himself.
Wow.
And I'm like, there's no way. I don't depend on my phone for GPS. I will look, I will see where it's at,
But she takes
and get
you
an
all
idea.
around.
Yeah,
She
absolutely.
hasn't been accurate.
Right, but I will look and see, okay, I need to go here, I need to go there. This is how I need to get to this and this and that spot. Just before the show, when we were talking about the traffic and everything else, immediately it's like, oh, well, you should have done this, you should have done that. You know, little things, little things we become dependent upon.
I think I had some information on who has it in regards
Why we
to,
shouldn't be afraid of it?
Why we shouldn't be afraid?
Yeah,
which would be some
Oh
of the
no,
good.
why we should. Mine says why we should be.
Well, one
afraid.
has should, one has shouldn't, but you know, the
Right.
shouldn't should defend some of the questions that Gary called in to ask about. But in my world, I think there's always going to be a good reason or self-serving reason for AI, but ultimately, I think it serves a whole nother sinister purpose, if you ask me.
And I think we have to be aware. You know, at the end of
That's
the day,
all
we
we're
have to be
doing on
aware.
the show is just bringing up topics that we know people talk about.
We have, let me see, thank you so much for Homer, Evelyn, and Gloria for tuning in on our live feed. Thank you so much. Homer says, I'd rather drive myself.
with you.
I'm with
Absolutely.
him there, dude.
Evelyn says the car will become a tool for law enforcement. You have a warrant, take over your car computer, lock
That's
you
it.
in, and
That's
deliver you
it.
to the police
That's
department.
yes.
They save money on serving the
But
warrant. Hey, and that saves lives too.
What Facebook is going to do. See, y'all don't understand. What I don't like about Facebook.
They've already rigged the elections.
Okay. Hey, come on, okay? So you know when we did a show before on Facebook. Yeah, I know, right? Facebook basically will ask you, you know, Marion or OMG, because you know Daydream, do you not know?
Yeah, that's
kind
some
of
weirdos.
Why are you trying to gather me in a little tribe here?
Right,
You know?
or you click on something and then all of a sudden you have all these ads for something similar or comparable.
Well, they even had it on where the woman didn't click on it. She was speaking it, and they said her phone heard it. And her phone, she said, I had not even gotten to my computer yet.
And it was there.
And she said when she finally did get to her computer, she was like, how did it know I was looking for this?
Yeah, because
well, you know,
think about all the updates. We did this before. We talked about that before.
We've had some
about
shows.
with the privacy and the agreement and everything. And you yourself, OMG, were like, I don't agree to this, so I'm not going to update it.
Remember, I told you that because I don't play this because in my world, this has been going on for quite some time. And I don't profess to know it all. It's just my personal opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I just believe that we are being, guided like sheeple.
Absolutely.
We are being programmed. We're being dumbed down.
Mhm.
We are being given items, products, you call it whatever it is, that affords you the opportunity for convenience. But trust and believe, on the flip side of that, there's another purpose that it serves for bigger than your purposes.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay?
And they make
So-
it
It's always about Big
that
Brother.
too. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So again, Gary called in and wanted to know what do we think is the good side of AI. Sylvia, you just walked in. You need to answer that because you're late. We'll put you on the spot.
What's
Yes.
good about AI?
We had a call. We had a call in regards to what's good about AI. Because it seems as though
Well-
you could either welcome it or you could worry.
Mm-hmm.
And worry doesn't do much, but that. But still be aware. Let's just say that could either welcome it or be aware of its.
Yeah,
presence.
welcome it or be aware. I think maybe some of the good things, maybe some of
The conveniences
Mm-hmm.
that you would get from artificial intelligence, getting robots or things to do things for
Well,
you,
they
take care
vacuum
of
your
business.
house now.
yeah, vacuum your
Oh,
house
yeah.
exactly.
And I would
I
love
don't mind
that.
that.
I would love to have my dishes washed,
I
but
think
the
it's
only
a
thing I
little
can't
device.
get it to go to the bathroom for me. that might be a
That may
problem.
be
I just need it to fold my laundry. I'll
Oh
do
my
the laundry.
gosh.
It's
Yes.
just once that pile is there, I need it folded, and it just doesn't do that by itself. So if we could work on that, people, that
We
would
need
be
Rosie
great.
from
And I-
Jetsons
and-
to
yes,
come folks
And
and
I,
really do.
and I will have to say to Gary that robotics have been used for years in surgery.
Now
So
that
it
is
does serve
Bomb
a
squads,
viable- yeah.
dismantling things
Yeah,
like
so
that.
it
Yes.
does have its good sides, but again, you have to in everyday life.
Right, and
I
for
think it's
some
gonna be a little
people,
different.
it's a viable sex partner.
We
We
were
just
talking
said that.
about
Yeah,
that too.
the new
Yeah.
side piece, for some people it works out. For both
Well,
partners.
yeah, especially the way the dating pool is now.
We
Yeah.
got
Oh,
another
man,
caller.
dating
Caller, you're on the air.
Hello, guys.
Hey,
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Gloria.
Gloria.
How are you?
I'm fine. Look, I had a scary experience recently. I went to a fast food place, and I gave the lady, I think it was $5.25 for some change, and she could not figure out how much change I needed
Oh, yeah.
manually.
Yeah.
Yes,
We're being dumbed down.
basic math. You don't know how to count out backwards. Can't
Mhm.
I can't count out the difference. Absolutely, I totally get it. Now with that, I was one of those people, but that's because math has always been a thing for me. I can't. It gives me anxiety. I hate it. So I had to learn how to do that. But it wasn't because I was used to technology. It's just I had so much anxiety that I would just block it out and just say, well, I can't do it. It's math. I can't do it. So to their defense, okay, but I totally agree. I mean, even just the basic of things people aren't able to do. Look at how they're teaching kids math now. It's a complete different system, and I feel that they're making it harder. And it's like, what happened to just basics?
Right.
Like, why do we need this fancy system? And why are you knocking off points because we didn't follow this particular step when I can just
I get
multiply
same
the basic
answer. I
way?
get the same answer.
Yeah, and I got there 5 minutes before you did.
I just think the world is about convolution now. It's all
Mhm.
But I guess my main concern about AI is dumbing down.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. We don't have to think.
And we already got obesity problems, so now you're having things do work for you.
Well, because then we're easier to kill off that way.
Yeah.
Because we'll file right into place.
On that
Right.
note, Fly, hold on. On that note, stay on the line. We'll be right back. We've got to go to break. Don't slide around and fall on the floor.
By calling 713-789-0096. Stay tuned.
No, it's not.
You're listening to the Bridge of Light Radio Network, where conversations lead to real change.
Ellen, I have to do I have to read off. I have to do a live commercial read.
Yeah, that's why I did it short.
Give me just a second to pull it up.
So what do y'all want to do?
And we are back talking fast.
Your favorite country artists are back in Houston to play the 2018 Spring Concert Series at Sam Houston Race Park. Every Friday is 50-cent beer and live racing. Then this Saturday, don't miss Shooter Jennings as he takes the Bud Light stage immediately after live quarter horse racing. Tickets for as low as $10 are on sale now at shrp.com. Get your tickets today.
And we are back. You're listening to All About You with OMG and Friends, where we talk about the things that you think about. I am your host, OMG, along with my co-host,
Daydream.
Silky smooth.
And your wellness warrior, Susan Nett.
Okay, we had Fly on the line. So Fly, please continue with your comment. Fly, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah, continue with your comment. What were we saying?
No, I'm just saying that with more advancement in artificial intelligence, it just seems like people are dumbing down. And I think it's a ploy because if you lose power, you're going to lose a lot of it.
Now, you worked at NASA. Did you see a lot of robotics and stuff like that when you were there?
Oh, yeah.
See,
They've been working on robotics ever since, oh, Lord.
Years ago. That's what I'm saying. So we think this is all new. This has been around for quite some time. The whole
Right,
art.
but you don't want to build anything smarter than you.
Well,
You would think.
but
That may not be the
again,
intention.
just like on Facebook when the bots were, kind of communicating. I watch also a stupid show. It comes on. It's Austin Powers.
Right.
But he had fembots.
Yes.
That's exactly what we have now with these little dolls and all that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so
Absolutely.
but again, I'm assuming that AI is all around. You must have your head is straight.
And now they have hotel rooms in the sky.
In the what?
They have hotel rooms in the sky. So if people are being flown out into space.
Where?
For like
Oh yeah, that's on. You didn't see that today?
No.
I didn't
Oh,
see
they're leasing space in the space station.
Oh, that's what my niece was talking
See, y'all need to
about. She made a
understand,
comment
the plan-
asking
the
about
plan
wanting to go out in
is-
space.
The plan is, Fly, you've known me how long? 50 years, maybe?
Yeah.
Have I not always said this exact same stuff that's happening? I've always said it.
Absolutely.
So they're flying out in space to do what? Just to sightsee?
No, they're flying out of space. So when life happens to and
Take a
ceases
left
to
turn?
exist,
Exist
they
here on
decide
Earth.
to leave this planet. All of the desolate ones, the degenerates, will all be left here. While and this is a
That
20,
includes me.
this is a 2012 movie where this guy,
Sure, I was just gonna say
where the
that.
guy says, we get to live and you get to die because we have money to get on the big plane.
Exactly.
Seriously,
Yeah.
they have bunkers underneath, and then you've got
Right.
rental space up in the sky. They're leaving this place. They don't care what they do to it. So you have to
Exactly.
clear them.
Wow.
Exactly. Well, you remember the movie?
It's
I'm sorry, go ahead.
scary, but it's also something you have to keep in perspective also.
And that means what exactly? I mean, it's in perspective when you are aware of it. I don't know exactly what can be done about it because everything that requires work requires shutting down your purse strings. And nobody seems to be willing to stop spending, stop buying, stop going into, this AI industry. The dolls, these little sex dolls cost about $10,000 or $12,000. They'll be financing that stuff soon.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'd like to
And
set
your
up the
trip-
company
and
to finance.
Yeah, and your trip out of space. They will have. I think it Leon Musk or someone who has Virgin who was doing the
SpaceX?
Space, yeah. Was that's not Musk, was that?
That
Virgin,
is,
I can't think of his name. Virgin Airlines or something like
Because
that.
We know who he
Not
is.
airline, but anyway, he flies out of space. $1 million, you can go.
Right.
You know, and that's why they were having they were taking life up to outer space to see how it would work.
Right, it was all just tested out.
Plants. All of this is to test it out, so when they leave,
Right.
y'all here, because I'm going.
Mhm.
I'm going to be out in
Not
space.
even-
I'm being out in space grooving, okay?
Only way I go to outer space is when God calls me up, and that's the only way I'm gonna be out in space.
Well, you know there are 3 different heavens, so you may be on the celestial. I plan on being on.
But I don't think man can do what I want God to do.
I know that's right.
So
Amen to that.
Amen.
I agree with that. You know.
it's a long way in coming when man can actually equal God.
But see, when you get to that constellational heaven, which is where the planets and the stars and all that stuff is, and then there's a 3rd heaven. There's one beyond that. So I don't know how we can get there, but if AI will take me, I'll pay.
Only through the big guy. That's all.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we all know. Thank you, Fly, for your call. You have another comment? I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say, just be aware, of what's going on, so you can prepare yourself and your family for whatever you need to.
Right.
As far as AI, but AI has been around for a long time.
A long time. But I do.
I am just so fascinated at how fast it's evolved.
It's not fast. It's always, to me, in my world, again, it's always been here. They have to wait until we can
Give it to us slowly.
yes, they have to give it to it
Piecemealing.
right.
Yeah,
They can't
piecemeal
give
it
it
to
to you
you.
all at one time. So, it's just like, and we did a show a while back on when something runs out, they build another one, just obsolescence.
Yeah, planned obsolescence
Yeah, so
and
when
perceived
They
obsolescence.
plan for all of this to happen so that when Siri, doesn't talk on an iPhone 7, then around the corner, as soon as you buy up all the 7s, there's a line for iPhone 8.
Yeah, it's already on the
It's
table.
already
Yeah, right.
there.
And learned it's already on the
So
table.
I don't believe that this is something that's just happening. I
Oh, no.
believe it's being pulled off the shelf. I don't know how, and I
Mhm.
believe we have, I know this is going to sound crazy, extraterrestrial help.
Absolutely.
Are you laughing? I'm dead
Well,
serious.
recently, you say that recently, there was some satellite imaging, radio, light imaging, whatever, and they just found a whole other Mayan civilization that they said it looks like it could possibly be like 10 million years old, something to that effect. But they were like, just from what they could see, they said there's so much more than that, and it was by accident.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't looking for that. They were there just to get, I think, like topography or some geography or whatever. And that's when they realized what the images showed them. And they've said it with the Mayans and the Aztecs for years, and even with the pyramids, that the precision
Absolutely. You
and
can't
the
even-
craftsmanship,
we
they
can't
were like,
even
it
replicate
was
that.
beyond
We
what
can't-
they were ready for.
We
So
can't replicate it now. So that, I just,
Literally,
thank you so much,
Thank
Fly.
you.
Yeah, I just believe that it's already out there. So we're just being introduced to it a little bit quicker now. Because at one point they allowed a little bit more time
Mm-hmm.
before they would reintroduce something else or
Right.
introduce something else. Now it's like boom, 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 because the world, they have you talking fast, thinking fast, processing fast, getting into situations faster and sooner than you ever would have because you find out about things so quickly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you don't have that luxury of having, issues wait until you arrive to the position to hear it or be ready for it. You can be driving and somebody can tell you something that's in your family. Now what?
Mhm.
It's too spontaneous. So the whole world is functioning under warp speed. What can I say?
And I guess social media helped to usher that in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
so-
It's all a progressive step,
Yeah.
and I just believe that we just need to be aware. Not everybody agrees with me. Not everybody believes the stuff that we may bring. But again, we're talking about things that people think about, and you may hear in small conversation, but nobody really wants to discuss it. Or we
Right.
have it on the table.
Right, absolutely. And they give us just enough to not be aware.
Absolutely, it's a game.
Everything is going perfectly
It's
as they
perfectly according
plan.
to plan.
We bring it, okay, here's this, and now it's
They
fun.
get excited about
Oh,
that.
the Snapchat with all the filters and everything. Hello, people, that's facial recognition. Why would
Thank
you
you.
allow them to scan your face?
Same thing with this. That's all AI.
Yeah, I turn it off. Fingerprinting, the fingerprint to unlock things, facial recognition. I have my webcam covered up at work, at home. All of that's been completely covered. I don't use it on my phone. I don't use the filters for Snapchat. I turned off, Siri's ability to be able to answer this and this and that. I've turned all that off.
Well, my son-in-law looked on Facebook and saw all these open apps that these things are happening with you, that you're able to get in touch with people.
Find
they have your
people
cell
or see
number.
where they are. I don't like that. Why do I need to?
Authorize that? They have
Yeah.
your numbers and following you where
Yeah.
you are. But guys, I think we may have to get out of here because we're going to do a second part
Absolutely.
of AI. We humbly apologize that we were late today, but again, the traffic was horrendous. Like I said, you can't live in a city
There were
that's about-
accidents
you
upon
cannot live in-
accidents.
That's right. You
And
cannot live in this city. And get somewhere on time unless you leave well in advance. And we all
like
do
yesterday, we should have left yesterday.
that. we all do it, but we apologize for that because we still want
Hey, I
you
left 2 hours early. I
your
had
listenership.
barely 30 minutes to spare.
I
So what does
know.
that take?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay,
But
that's
guys,
fine.
have a good week, what's left of it, and we will have part 2 of AI. And we look forward to your thoughts on whether or not we should welcome it or should we be concerned
Reject
about
it,
it or
right.
reject it. Until then, we'll see you on the radio.
All right. Thank you. Have a good week.
The guy who just died, in a wheelchair, he's a scientist.
Oh, that's Hawkins.
He left a warning about robots and do that. Y'all need to find out what that is.
Yeah.
Talk on
Oh,
it.
he just died. He had
Oh, he just
part
died?
ALS.
Yeah, he
just died.
Yeah.
Where?
He died like last week.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I don't do
He
that.
He left a warning
About how?
about
oh, yeah,
not,
I
don't do that. He said it's gonna be
the end of
death
mankind.
That's right.
I have some of that information in here.
Did you do
we're
it?
gonna do next.
Did you do it?
Stephen Hawkins?
Did you do it?
Stephen Hawkins or whatever else we gotta do. Yeah, because there's a lot more to this.
Because I don't know
And
if
now
it's
that he's
him or
passed.
some of the other guys said just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Right. Well, we're crossing over into a whole nother
We're
thing.
gonna have to just real quick. We're gonna have to start making sure that's door closed because all of that
Conversation
is all over everything. All over everything.
conversation.
All the
Yeah.
noise, everything.
He was on the phone.
The phone, the yelling down the hallway, all this other nonsense.
Yeah, and it was
all of
outside
that.
the door. We still heard.
Yeah, all of that
The
was all.
walls are not very thick.
But anyway, I think there was so you think we should check it out.
No, I mean, yeah, that'll definitely help. With
No,
this.
I didn't know he had passed though.
Yes.
Oh yeah, just recently.
He used to always be on
They
Big
get a
Bang
great-
Theory.
And
Yeah.
they made a comment, I think, about
And they make fun of him on Family Guy. I used to crack out on
Those guys were
Family
so good.
Guy.
I know they
Sometimes I happen to catch it, I'm like, oh, they wrong for
I
that.
know. See, Family Guy is a joke. Them and the Simpsons, they'll predict somebody's misfortune.
and then it happened.
And then it
An
happens.
American Dad.
Some prediction.
Yeah.
American Dad. What happened? American Dad.
American Dad.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know that everything you hear does not translate in the microphone.
That I know translated. I know for a fact it translated. The extra conversations.
I didn't even hear no conversation.